For all the time I have been playing Terraria, believe me or not, I have been doing only quick runs and never actually stretched them, and about 2 months ago I have decided why won't I just try, one time won't hurt, right? And did you know that there is one certain Terraria mod which complements pure Terraria experience just perfectly? Well, at least as I have been told. And this mod is called Thorium, as you might have already guessed. And so, summing up, in today's video I'll be doing Thorium 100 hours playthrough, and hopefully stumble upon everything this mod offers. And also before we start, I'm terribly sorry about the video's quality, cause at this point my dumb ass just didn't find out how to download videos from YouTube in good quality, and yeah, this was live streamed in case you're wondering. And before we start I have to mention that the world I will be playing on is large on a master difficulty for quote more fun purpose. And on the first hour we have to get the ball rolling. But the thing is that I don't actually know that much about Thorium, but at least I know about this starting item. It will be used to craft the ultimate weapon in the future. So just as usual we chop some trees, craft the workbench, and already see the new recipe set by the mod, which I'm actually pleased by, so we won't have to stick with the copper short sword I absolutely despise. In this playthrough I wanted to try out every class added by this mod. And there are 3 of them: the Bard, the Healer and the Thrower. The Bard uses instruments as weapons, the Healer has hacks to heal the player and he has allies, and the Thrower is the class I'm actually used to, cause well I was throwing on a good amount of passes in the last playthrough, check it out if you didn't see it yet. And unfortunately that Terraria offers you 3 loadouts, in which I will be able to place every said class. And for now we have just 2 started weapons, and with these I went exploring the caves, and stumbled upon a chest, nothing, and another chest, yet again nothing. But as you know, 3rd time's a charm, and so at the 3rd chest I found this new weapon, which allows you to spawn the spinning orbital shield, which stuns the enemies on contact. Awesome. And I die, all as standard, and it's such an annoying feature that there is no faster respawn, just like in Calamity, but it's okay as long as you have heaps of time left. Then I get back to the cave and notice that there is a new gem type, called Opal. Curious. Not as helpful though, unlike this life crystal. And after returning to home again, while scrolling the shitload of recipes, I have killed the slime and got the inspiration fragment from it. Think of it as a mana star. It increases total inspiration capacity and allows us to cook more bangers as the Bard. Then I headed to the left side of the world, went inside the living trees and found the new Bard weapon. A common flute, goodbye whistle, will be quickly forgotten. And the recovery went for Healer, which unfortunately does nothing in the single player. And then it was time to set up a base. And I dedicated the rest of the first hour to finish the frame of the house. And there was nothing much to tell about, except for that I found out about this blood dropped from zombies, crafted the shields and the very first Bard armor. No, I didn't, since I was short on cobwebs. Then I went exploring and look at this, like, Healer sword. It straight up decapitates the enemy and then throws leftover organs at other enemies. I definitely wouldn't like to be a victim of one of these. I gathered some cobwebs and finished the Bard armor, and there I found a potential world gen freak. What is this? Random chunk of desert? I'll take it, I guess. Or is this a generation bug? At 1 hour and 10 minutes I started storing and sorting the huge amount of loot I have got so far. After doing so I went exploring. And do you guys have these lava pond things in the desert of your Thorium worlds? Is this like another world gen freak? There are gonna be more world gen freaks. I don't know why they occur. My game is almost pure. I obviously don't use any quality of life or world gen mods, just the checklists. However, then I found the jungle, and oh boy was this a terrible idea to go into the jungle cave. I'm out of here. No. After figuring that out, I, instead, went to explore the right part of the world, and upon entering the snow biome, I met this new snowball creature. Yeah, let's see how big it will grow. It's not even twice as big as me. Then I explored the icy caves, and crafted yet another weapon for the Bard class, and called it a day after getting in some more crafting stations. 142 minutes into the playthrough, and I started making the elevator. With a copper pickaxe. Don't ask me, I don't know neither. But after roughly 10 minutes, I found the first mushroom biome of the playthrough. Truly a monumental moment of the playthrough. And prayed to find my vanity set, but unfortunately I didn't. And what do you think I crafted next? Yeah, another Bard weapon. Like, when will other classes get attention from me? I just didn't find anything for them yet. Also upgraded my pickaxe and died from fall damage. I believe it was necessary. Then I kept adventuring until I found this golden creature. And I have been getting these medals from slaying the rare enemies. But at this point I didn't know how to exchange them yet. And also I found some thorium ore, with the help of which I have upgraded my anvil, which is required to smelt the thorium ore. it would have made more sense if it was a furnace. And from it I finally got the non-barred weapon, and went collecting stars for inspirational fragments. And I like how this crimson is too far away from my spawn point, so I went inside and broke the crimson heart, from which I got a fan letter. And finally crafted these inspirational fragments on the Crimson Altar. Got another sick drop from Crimson Heart and bought some stuff from Traveling Merchant. Almost 3 hours in, and now I wanna dedicate some time to make the spawn base look a little better than this at least. So since it was Halloween at that time I was playing, I figured it would be nice to make like a haunted house with some NPCs in the basement for some reason. And it did end up looking at least dark at the main part. And please don't mind the roof and those sandstone walls, because I didn't have the painter moved in yet, and I'll paint them grey later. And also I started expanding the cavern lake, which I'm gonna be using for fishing later on, with the main purpose of this being that I simply needed more stone, like a truly huge quantities of stone, and also prepare the terrain to build the underground house. And also I'm quite fond of these living trees, as you can tell by the previous playthrough's main house being a literal gigantic tree, which by the way if you didn't check yet, I do recommend you doing so, because I worked so hard on it and it got literally no attention at all. Alright, back to the main topic. So this all ended up looking pretty good in my opinion. Let me know what do you think. The only downside is that I have wasted around 80 minutes on this all combined, and so we are at 4 hours now. It is now time to continue digging the elevator, and while doing so I found this. This is actually the perfect early game pickaxe. Here's why. At first, and probably the most obvious, it's fast, even faster than the platinum one. Secondly, it got an ability to mine twice at a time, and it's doing that quite frequently. And finally, it emits the lights, like you don't need to use torches anymore. If you see the suspiciously looking life crystal, don't get caught off guard like I did. What? Did he just start attacking me? Wait, hold on. Secret boss battle? This mod still keeps surprising me, and how can you not like experiencing such emotions? That's why I recommend you trying it out yourself. And I found another mushroom biome, but I didn't make it to actually explore this one, because I was distracted by goblins. But I'm not complaining, I'll finally get some movement accessories, because I got none of these so far. Like 4 hours and none of movement accessories. And the goblins were painful to say the least, because I got no piercing or crowd control weapons yet. I was literally forced into the cycle of deaths. It took me exactly a whopping 16 minutes to finish off this madness, but at least I got this dark gate from them, which is a unique healer staff, or whatever there is. A mirror? It teleports me and heals. You can tell it's gonna be useful for the boss fights. And also goblins dropped this yew wood, which did look really nice. I'm definitely gonna use that in my future builds. But for now let's explore that forgotten mushroom biome. And how convenient. I found Goblin just chilling over here, and I didn't purchase anything from him, because I wanted him to move in and provide a discount. And also I finally found this sweet toad vanity set. Oh yes, I got it. Let's go. One acquired, 2 more to go. I continued exploring the caves, and the new discoveries were not long in coming. What is this thing? There was like a chamber with this altar in the middle, which probably serves to summon some boss. I also mined some obsidian and stumbled upon the undead merchant, which provided me with some freshly baked bread. And I kept finding these mushroom biomes. Something must be wrong, there are like too much of them. And in one of them I found this hellish looking chest, which contained an oftenly desired thing. Maybe contains like spark boots, materials, hopefully. What did I just say? And also I already maxed out my health, don't know exactly when though. There are so much things in this mod, like for example this ring, increases all damage by 2, 4 and increases armor penetration. Hold on, I will need this. I like how I usually breeze through hardest calamity bosses, but struggle on things like this. Why am I that bad? Okay, speaking of these rockets, how are they even intended to use? What are you even meant to do with them? And here's yet another bard weapon. I'm personally not fond of that thorium adds so much for early game bard, but I haven't seen anything worthy for example for healer in terms of weapons. And at this point I had nothing left to do except building, but once I started doing this, the blood moon occurred, immediately greeting me with a new boss. What do I hear? The boss music. It's about 5.5 hours now, a perfect time to finally fight the first boss. and this true melee slash healer weapon was doing wonders against the boss. You know, maybe I should take my words back about the unworthy healer weapons. And it wasn't even close, but also I didn't get anything useful from him, except for this sick pet, which is even sometimes useful and points at rare enemies. And after finishing this Blood Moon, I had way too much things to craft from the unholy shards, but I didn't have that much of them. I had to choose from a bunch of different variants, but of course I went with the new healer armor. Gosh darn it, finally some defense. And went on building, finished the main base roof, and got to making the underground house, which is where I wanted to utilize the yew wood. The problem is again that I didn't have that much of it, and had to use it wisely at the same time making the base look good. Whatever. And I think I had accomplished this task. Of course could have been better if I had more materials, but I guess it is what it is for now, although I never got back to it again. We are now at 6.5 hours, and here I am in caves again. I killed a nymph and got a metal detector. Oh look, the hand is spitting me. And only at 6.5 hours we finally got a decent healer weapon, but yet not a single pair of Hermes boots. I just don't know how this works. As you know, there are a lot of unique items in this mod, but have you seen a hook that works in that weird way? Oh! Sadly, I can't imagine where this hook will be actually useful. I continued the exploration and here's the second mushroom set. And that was about it. So instead I went into the desert, because I was not having any luck with finding the Hermes boots, so I decided to go for Dune Riders. And also the magic conch, which is essential if you're gonna spend a lot of time in the world. So I found Dune Riders after about 12 minutes of exploring. But then I got distracted by crafting the ring idea, and got distracted again by building the desert arena. Maybe just because I had a wave of inspiration at this moment. Crafted the sandstorm gun, or what is it called? You know, the grand Thunderbird summon, and for some reason went into the jungle. I can't explain my actions anymore, I'm just way too chaotic sometimes. But I found a very important item for healer, the digester. It's a weapon that applies a debuff on enemies, which makes you gain health after attacking the enemy, and it doesn't depend on class, if I remember correctly. Then I headed to the Sky Islands and nothing noteworthy here, except for finding out what could I craft from feathers. But you won't see any of these, because I didn't want to farm for feathers, at least now. Then I crafted 3 rings for all the loadouts, and went to finally take on the first boss, the great Thunderbird. Oh hell yeah, sound of freedom. I am an eagle, you are not an eagle, you are an adult man, I am an eagle. And I just might be a little bit too overpowered for this bird, cause it was literally no hassle at all to kill the bird. It's dead. Literally. It was nothing special, but overall a well-designed early game boss. And I got this painting from it, which is like thank you from Calamity, I guess. And what is it? Why is there a Lorax in the bottom left corner? Anyways, from the material dropped from it. I crafted a new thrower set, which literally granted me a sandstorm in a bottle, and I wanted to farm it for more ingots, but it could only be summoned during the day, so I slept over the night and killed it once more. And turns out I was not farming it for just the ingots, but I wanted this weapon called Didgeridoo, I hope. And once I got it, I realized it was not worth it at all, cause my other weapons just outclass it at this point. And it's time for more bosses, like King Slime for example. And you know, I'll just spare you the details of this fight. From the back I get the new thrower weapon. So these were 2 bosses in less than 30 minutes. So I decided to take a break and go building. And while searching for a terrain, I stumbled upon this graveyard biome. And I immediately started searching for secrets, right clicking on every gravestone. And what is this? Also I found an altar in the middle of this biome, but it seemed to be dormant, so I reckon I'll leave it for now. Also from the corals you could craft the healer armor set, so I crafted it and it was not better than mine. So, moving on then. The left ocean was about to be corrupted by Crimson, so I decided to separate it from the ocean. But the thing is that this was the aquatic depth ocean, and I was using bombs to dig the hole. I just accidentally blew up this new ore. Can I mine this ore? I can mine this ore. So it turns out that you could break the thorium progression like this, but I decided to not, cause this didn't sound right, and I completely forgot that I was here to build a house. And I'm planning this house to be the angler's hut, and I think that's kinda obvious. And it turned out to be looking decent, I guess. Like, come on, this is just the angler's house. He doesn't deserve more. Spring water. What are you doing here? How did this... 3 hearts in the same place? And then I just spontaneously decided to fish. Like, I don't even know what caused me to, but I got hindered by goblins. Luckily I had the piercing weapon at this point, so it didn't take me that long. And then at 3 hours and 50 minutes of this session, I got pretty bored of walking through the ocean every time. So I went into the desert to find the magic conch finally, and it took me just a little less than an hour. But I finally accomplished this task. Please. Finally. And to celebrate that, I didn't think of anything better than using a random teleportation potion. And I got ported to the snow biome, so I decided to not miss the opportunity and search for the ice skates. To no avail though. And I dedicated the rest of this session for fishing, finishing the elevator, and even more fishing. And suddenly I decided to kill the Eye of Cthulhu. And I was just glad to utilize all the stuff that Thorium adds. Honestly, this made the fight a lot more enjoyable, and thus I was able to take him down. And this wasn't hard at all, so let's kill one more then. And oh, I'm out of summons. Not a problem, craft one more and kill the last Eye of Cthulhu for now. How conveniently, we got 3 treasure bags and 3 of Cthulhu shields for each loadout. And that's how we're not in the early game stage anymore, at 11 hours and 6 minutes.